Hey guys, today I'm working on making some LARPing armor for my friend Marcus Pinson, who came and helped me with a short film project a while ago, and you'll see that eventually someday. And so this is basically some World War I style, or Battlefield 1 style armor, and it's going to be a heavy breastplate, a English style helmet, which is, that's kind of the profile. It's very medieval looking, and it just looks like it's out of Battlefield 1. So this is all 16 gauge. It's LARP armor, but as you know, I don't make things plastic and foam and puny things like that. So this is going to be real LARP armor. So I'm just going to show you the process of making. I'm going to make a breastplate, helmet, vambraces, and thigh armor. So I had some problems with the helmet. From what you guys saw before, it was much shallower than this, and there was the brim. So I was trying to dish this out of 16 gauge out of a single piece. If I had done it out of halves, I would have been able to get it deeper. But since I did it in one piece and it was only 16 gauge, I was trying to do it light for costume use only, but it wasn't thick enough and it kept splitting. I couldn't dish it anymore, and it has to be deeper. And so I had to roll a piece of 16 gauge, weld it on, and then dish it in place. Basically, I spliced it back together. Now I'm cutting out a new brim, and then I'm going to weld that in. It's going to have more welding than I was hoping it would. I was hoping I'd be able to get it out of a single piece without welding it at all, because that's how the actual historical helmet I'm basing it on looks like. But I just can't do that. I don't have the tools. If I had like a power hammer, you know, like that one that I still haven't finished, I would be able to dish it out of, you know, 14, 12 gauge, something like that, and I'd be able to get it that deep out of a single piece. But that's just not possible right now with the tools that I have. Plus, dishing this sort of smooth armor isn't something I do very often. Usually my armor is jagged and angular, as you've seen some of my Republic armor and that kind of thing. But I'm learning, and you know, I can't charge the extra 2 hours that it took to rebuild this, and so I'm going to stick with the original quote. And you know, you learn as you go, and in a couple years from now, if I ever make something like this again, I'll have the tools, I'll know what I'm doing more, and I can quote more accurately and actually be able to stick with the time that I think it will take. But you know, it's a learning process. Alright guys, that is it for part one of this build. As you can see, I have the body armor, the helmet, vambraces, and thigh armor, whatever that's called, done so far. They aren't completely done, of course. There's straps and padding to be done, which is why this is a two-part video. Part one is all the metalworking, and then part two is going to be the leather, the straps, the padding, that sort of thing. So the whole idea behind this was to make a set of Battlefield 1, World War I style body armor for LARP use. So it's lighter than I would make for actual armor use, but that's fine. With a collapsible gorget so that it comes up over the neck and covers most of the chin up to the nose. And then as a part 3, we are going to make a mask. I might actually include that in part 2. I'm going to have a mask that will go between the helmet and the gorget, and will fill that spot to cover the rest of your face that the helmet and the gorget doesn't cover. So gorget, pull the pin, that's a hinge actually, and fold it down like that, and then you can stow the pin here when it is not being used. And so that is the folded down mode, and then deployed, you would just fold it up and then pin it through this hinge. I hope you enjoyed this build. Like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe so you can see part 2 that's coming up, where I'll show you how to make the straps and padding, and we will do the ballistics mask. And as always, I have a video every Saturday morning, and now the Terminator build is going to be every Wednesday. And be sure to go look at the Indiegogo campaign for the Terminator. If you want to see it happen, go and back us, share it around, it helps a ton, and I will see you next week.